So we have all heard the rumors about XDefiant being shut down after Season 3 if the numbers are not improved. I'm curious to know what their expectations are and how realistic they are. We're playing it close here. From what we've heard, the developers have the full first year or so of content already made in terms of seasonal stuff. The big question is this the correct pace? We already currently are on a decline, which is normal for every new game to get lower in player base after launch. However, it would be delusional to willfully ignore the fact that the game is not in a healthy spot. This causes me to wonder if the game continues on their same pace and doesn't take notes from what they did wrong with Season 1. They could just be repeating the same mistakes and wind up wondering what went wrong. Will 4 new arena maps, 2 linear maps, 2 new factions, and 6 new weapons along with search and destroy mode be enough to bring all these people back? I honestly don't think so, but I think the current enjoyers of the game will be pleased. I'm really hoping the netcode changes will make a vast and noticeable improvement to the extent of being worthy of writing home about. I really hope it can be something noticeably better, not just on the shot around corners front, but also in terms of hit reg and shoot first die first on players that seem to just be unkillable in certain matches. I'm fully aware the netcode will never be perfect, but it feels like it gaslights you more than any other FPS game I've ever played. All jokes aside, as much as I love the game, between this and Warzone, I've learned to know when I'm playing versus a player with high ping. Fortunately on XDefiant we can confirm our suspicions by looking at the scoreboard. I think expectations need to be set properly or we run the risk of massive disappointment in the event that the update releases and is not very apparent. I have faith it'll be a big enough improvement to help sentiment, but only time will tell. A lot of the bad gunfights come down to you fighting somebody likely with variation in ping, which is hurt more by the player base falling off. I think at the start of the season we should see a boost in player base and hopefully improved connection quality because of it. All of this makes me wonder, do we need more time or do we need to make some changes? This brings me back to my music career or even creating things on YouTube. You can sit there and wait on your previous release to pick up some steam, or you can put something new out, or you can come up with some type of marketing strategy. But usually when you decide to let time pass and hope things will improve, it's usually just wishful thinking. I think if the game does not get to where it needs to be within a certain time frame, I think that the team needs to develop a Hail Mary type of strategy. I would say after Season 3, but for all we know, that's the end of the road. I think that they should take a lot of this content that is designed to be put out over the course of a year and put it out within like 1 or 2 seasons as a massive booster to the game. If this is implemented after the netcode is on point, we would have a situation where people are talking about the game in a positive light, wanting to support it as an underdog. I feel like there is this disdain for these large corporate organizations like Activision or Ubisoft, and it takes away from the fact that this game is being developed by a small team. They're basically being overshadowed by who their publisher is. Kind of like how I'm privileged to be broke because I was also born white. At least I get to experience pasty poverty though. All jokes aside, the devs are just working a job, they're passionate about it, and they had an opportunity and took it. I don't think they agree with all the decisions those before them made, but they do their best. I think this game has a bright future and only time will tell. However, I can't be silent with my criticisms and suggestions, not from an I told you so perspective, but rather from a place of I see what this could be. Like I've previously said in videos, I think a lot more people feel disappointed than they feel apathetic, which is ironic because apathy quit playing this game. That makes me really wonder, does he know more than we do about the future and everything? He was in close proximity to Aches after all, as well as Pac-Man, who both work on XDefiant. The fact ex-COD pros like Apathy and Octane stopped playing, as well as even Formal and Scump, raises some concern. I could see them stopping because of the lower viewership and the game not being massive to grow, but it also shows a lack of confidence. I personally feel like at this point in time we've kind of hit a slow period in terms of the news, and it kind of sucks because it feels like trying to make creative videos on the game just doesn't really justify the time spent making them. Like look at Nightfall playing the game on ranked using a steering wheel and shit. Sorry to his teammates, but it's like he's making all this effort doing these creative videos or making videos playing with like cursed class setups and stuff. The game's so small, nobody really cares about that. People would rather hear news about the game getting better or news about the game dying. I can get everybody being frustrated at Call of Duty, but that doesn't also make any other game that comes up against it immune to criticism. At the end of the day, if you want to be great, you have to take all that comes along with it, including having your name dragged through the mud along with the love. I'm curious to see if this strategy with the end of the season tokens will continue in the future, or if this is just a measure taken because of recent events. I personally think it's a good idea at this point of the season, especially because it has me logging in even on days where I might decide to play another game, or maybe not even play any games and just watch shows or something else. At the end of the day, as much as people think that the game is competing against Call of Duty, in reality it's competing against every other source of entertainment that currently exists, the same way that musicians on streaming platforms are now competing against every musician that ever existed, instead of just whoever has the latest album in the record store.